Hello everybody, welcome to Recover Lab TV. My name's Chris, I'm your coach and sports therapist, and welcome to another video. This video is all about my up-and-coming DECA Triathlon challenge. It is 10 Ironman distance triathlons in 10 consecutive days, and the reason why I'm doing this is all for mental health awareness. I'm going to be fundraising for the mental health charity Rock to Recovery. They are an incredible charity here in the UK that help those in the emergency services and those in the armed forces. And for me, mental health is incredibly important. It's something that I feel that I've struggled with the majority of my life due to my ADHD. And it's something that I kind of really think that we all have those moments in life where we have our own struggles, if you will. And I think it's important to know that kind of someone like myself is in your corner fighting for you during those hard moments, you know. So if this is something you're into, by all means, please subscribe to the channel. You know, it would be amazing to have you on board. Please share some of my videos with some of your friends, your family. Please come along for the ride and join this journey as I take on this DECA in literally 9 days time. Might be 8 days time now. Yeah, 8 days time now. So getting stuck into it. There's been some updates since I kind of last did an introductory video about this challenge, and I just kind of wanted to kind of keep you in the loop, if you will, for those who are interested. Now, initially I set a place for the swim, which was Whitmore Bay, down kind of Barry Island, which is my local kind of sea beach area that I take all my clients to. I swim weekly, and I've trained for almost 10 years now. Literally been there kind of every week for certainly since 2017, kind of weekly since then. So a long time. So I know that water very, very well. And then I was going to be doing a bike course consisting of 4 loops. It was 45.97 kilometers with an elevation of 459 meters. I kind of went out, I tested that bike route and found that based on the kind of parameters which I'm looking to kind of trying to control so it doesn't fatigue me so much, if you will, he says, what I'm trying to do is not necessarily race this challenge, if you will. Now, for a typical Ironman, yes, you kind of train for it, you're doing your threshold work for it, and you're kind of ready to do as fast as you possibly can. This challenge was never about that for me. It was just cover the distance and do it without killing yourself, basically, you know. Try and raise some money. I'm trying to raise £10,000 for this charity. One, because it's their 10th year anniversary. It's 10 Ironman, and £10,000 sound like a good number as well. So it will be the most money that I personally have ever raised just by my own, just on my own, and it's something that's kind of really key to this, and really key to this kind of adventure, if you will. I want it to be something important, and I want it to make a difference both to myself and my own life and my own mental health journey, but also to everyone else that's affected. And if I can help them along their journey by doing this, and hopefully help you guys by either inspiring you or showcasing that anything is possible and that you too can do incredible things. By no means do I ever kind of paint myself out to be this superhero or this phenomenal athlete that is far capable or far more capable than any one of you guys. I think we are all capable of extraordinary things, and 9 years ago for me that was me crossing my first Ironman finish line, you know, and then fast forward at 9 years and here I am looking to do a DECA, which I never once would have ever thought that was possible. So it's a real big challenge, and it's something I'm incredibly aware of, but a lot of it will be done in my zone 2 pace, micromanaging the chronic load. So that kind of acute load that I'm getting from each day, trying to micromanage that so it's not kind of getting to dangerous levels where my body is breaking down at a rate that it can't super compensate and kind of adapt to. Now that's really important in order to kind of complete the challenge. Naturally, I've done my training and I've got myself to a certain level of strength and endurance, and naturally everything I do over these 10 days are going to test that level of strength and endurance. The more I look to like kind of let my ego take control and push the pace and not necessarily micromanage that loading, the more I'm putting myself at risk of injury. So looking at the courses has been incredibly important. Looking at my pacing, the heart rates in which I'm looking to kind of control, my power output in which I'm looking to control, and my pace which I'm looking to control, are all key elements to that, as well as the most important thing is general overall feel. Now, I then went on to, so I had the first bike route, which I've mentioned. Second bike route was similar in kind of elevation. It was slightly more, and the distance was slightly more by a couple of kilometers. It was 47.26 kilometers with an elevation of 582 meters, which was kind of down a big long road, basically kind of close to my house. It's the A48, and it's kind of like, I was just thinking maybe it's out and back might be quicker, because I'm looking to kind of drop the pace to control my heart rate, to control my power output and keep that low and manageable. It's naturally going to slow me down. Now, I'm roughly between 6 and 6.5 hours for an Ironman bike ride. My recent Ironman Wales bike ride was done, I think, just under 30 kilometers an hour. My last couple Ironman 70.3 bike rides have been roughly around the 3 hour to 3 hour 10. Cardiff was slightly faster because it was a flat course, and that was 2:41, I believe, for 90k. Now, naturally, I'm not going to be pacing it like that, so I've got to look a little bit long term, and I've been kind of roughly going, right, okay, 25 kilometers an hour equals roughly on a 45k loop, an hour and 50 minutes. Well, you times that and you're looking around 7.5 hours without any stops. Now, for me personally, this is totally self-catered. I don't have any closed roads, I don't have any feed stations, I haven't got anyone following me around in a van. It is just me, myself and I, and anyone else who fancies coming along for the ride. That means I'm carrying my own food. I'm going to need to stop and use a toilet from time to time. For me, that is either out in the wilderness or it's at my own house, the one I'm sat in right now. And then it means also that any sort of resupply needs to be back here, which is kind of where I've kind of based the loop on. For example, kind of the loop starts down the road from my house, and then it kind of goes off there and roughly kind of takes place kind of out in local areas. Now, what I've gone on to do is then change the bike course again to 3 60k loops. Basically, they're 59.16 kilometers, which equates to the same distance as Ironman Wales, right? So it's 177 point something. I'll work it out now. So it's 59.16 times 3. So it's 177.48 kilometers. Now, Ironman Wales is 177 kilometers. So therefore, I thought the majority of people would let me off those 3 kilometers to its like official distance, because Ironman races generally depict within a couple of K depending on the course. Because it's a 60K loop instead of a 45 loop, the elevation on it is slightly better in regards to its 529 meters elevation, which means the total course of elevation is going to be, give me a sec, 1,587 meters per day just for the bike course. Now, this, as you can see on the map on the screen, is kind of roughly got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 climbs, which are not too bad. First climb, you're kind of talking first climb's kind of 53 0.53 meters with an average grade of 2.9%, 18 meters ascent. It's relatively easy. You've then got your kind of first serious climb of the day, where you're kind of coming in, and it's got a cat 4 difficulty, average grade of 6%, but it kind of goes up to about 14, and it averages kind of 1.78 kilometers in distance, and the total ascent on that is 106 meters. The second climb further down, kind of coming out of the 5 mile lane at the top of kind of Barry. It's a relatively easy climb, to be honest. It's only 40 meters ascent. It averages 3.3%, and it's 1.2 kilometers. So that's relatively nice, to be honest. Third climb, again, 18 meters, 2.9% average, and 0.63 kilometers long. Then it kind of goes into climb number 4, which is 1.91 kilometers long in distance, 71 meters ascent, and then an average of 3.7%. So your only real big climb is the one kind of coming out on, zoom in now, kind of come in by Croysey Park Baptist Church. So out from there, crossing the River Ely, and then kind of coming out towards the top of the 5 mile lane, and that kind of crossroads where you meet the junction of A48. That I climb all the time, so it's not too bad, and it's something that I'm kind of really gonna, in a lot of respects, take easy. Now, my heart rate on those climbs, I'm just gonna micromanage and just spin the legs out. The rest of it, I will try my best to micromanage the pace, so I'm moving as quick as I can. I don't really want to be taking my heart rate over kind of 150, which is kind of a zone 3, a low zone 3 for me. 140 is kind of the top of my zone 2. So it's kind of like mid to low 150 is in a zone 3 for me. And then power output, my FTP is 320. What I want to keep is kind of like between, ideally under 200 if I can, depending on the climbs. Naturally you're going to have little spurs where you're a little bit more powerful, but the average I want to keep as low as possible, just so I can save my legs for the run. The run, I believe, is going to be where it's at each day. Now, because of my partner, purely out of like kind of screams of health and safety, really, because it's just me. I originally wanted to do it in the sea just because of consistency. I'm not afraid of the sea. I know, like I said, I know that water like the back of my hand. So I've done a lot. I've trained people to swim the English Channel in that particular bay, and the kind of 4 bays over. So for me, it's I was fine, you know. So naturally, I want my partner to be on board. Now she has asked me if I can kind of do some in the pool, so I've agreed to do the week in the pool. So 6 o'clock every morning between Monday and Friday, I'm going to be in the pool, Cardiff International Pool at 6 in the morning, doing my swim in one of the lanes. So if you would like to join me and you live locally, then by all means come to Cardiff International Pool. I don't unfortunately have my own lane. I don't have the money to kind of book that out in a peak time. So grab a space in the lane that I'm in or the one next to it. Come and say hello, you know, I appreciate the support and so on. And then literally advertise it, chuck it up on your social media that you're kind of coming along, joining me. Everything you post and you tag, I will reshare, especially on my Instagram. So head over to my Instagram, follow me on there if you aren't already. Tag me in the stories, chuck up some posts so I can reshare them and so on. And then join me swimming there. Now, Saturday and Sunday, so what's that, day 6 and day 7, I will be down Whitmore Bay, Barry Island. The reason why I'm doing it on the weekend is purely because the pool doesn't open until 8 o'clock and I think 9 o'clock or 9:30 on a Sunday. I can't afford to push my entire day back that long. So I'm trying to aim for consistently that I start at 6 o'clock every single morning. So Saturday, Sunday, I will be down Whitmore Bay, and by all means, join me there. I park at basically on the waterfront where the golf is, and I will meet everyone at Bay 2 next to Marco's calf. It's a blue calf with a Gavin and Stacey logo on. For those who know about Gavin and Stacey. But yeah, join me there. Now, I will pre-warn you, I do not have any open water safety team in the water. I don't have any boats. I don't have any buoys. I will be swimming widths of the bay, which are roughly 750 meters if you go wall to wall. Naturally, I come in a little bit and I will be using my watch as a kind of marker, swimming between bays 1 and 7, which is roughly kind of 500 to 600 meters, depending on how straight you're swimming. But I'll be using my watch to kind of time everything and calculate distance. And as soon as that says 3,800, I will be then stopping my watch and getting out and then getting in my car. From the pool or the sea, I'll be literally just stripping out of my wetsuit or my swim shorts, chucking my dry rope towel on, jumping in my car soaking wet and driving home to here, and then literally getting dry, getting on my bike and then heading straight out. Now, reason why such long transition is because naturally the logistics side of things, I don't have a team of people behind me, so therefore it's the only way I can do it, and that way I can do free loops on the bike. If I do need anything, I can then, as I come back past the house, I can just pop into the house, pick up something for the next loop. I can phone my partner, she can meet me kind of at the bottom of the hill, and just as I'm going, she can just pass me those things and so on. And then the same on the run. So the run is basically 4 loops. It's 10.91 kilometers with an ascent of 101 meters. Surprisingly, Ironman Wales, because I've used local races to basically assess, right? So I used Ironman Wales because it's my first Ironman and the one I've done the most. So I've used that to kind of gauge roughly how hard this is going to be. You know, I've also used the joggle, which I did a couple of years ago in 2023, I believe. or 2022 maybe, 2022 I think. It's on the channel if you fancy watching that. Cycled from Jolly Gropes to Land's End in 8 days. So that's probably the first multi-day thing I'd ever done. So cycling 100 miles a day or just over. I think the biggest day was 126, and I think the smallest day was 98. And that was one of, the rest of them were just over 100 miles. To help gauge roughly how my body's going to feel after this. And then elevation wise, it is my absolute dream to climb Mount Everest one day. You never know with this channel, if it blows up, then maybe I might be able to make it happen. Otherwise, finances, I'm going to be climbing Pen y Fan for the rest of my life, and kind of having my mountain adventures on smaller mountains and so on. Either way, it's not a problem, but it is a long-term goal of mine. Now, to gauge that, it's Ironman Wales, surprisingly, is 307 meters elevation. This is going to be 404 meters of elevation, which is surprising because, in my opinion, there's only 3 climbs, if you want to call it that. And they're relatively small, if you will, because it's small elevation from kind of Plasmar High School up to kind of Danes Court, and then there's a couple little climbs coming up from Lander Fields. The rest of it is kind of rolling, if you will, but it's those little small climbs that clearly add on the elevation, which is surprising. Because I thought Ironman Wales elevation was more, because it bloody feels like it, I'm not going to lie. And 2, it doesn't seem hilly, although on the 2 climbs, especially the one coming from Lander Fields, it's a long, slow climb. So I suppose that's where the elevation comes from on that particular one. This is the route I've been running for pretty much every time I go for a run since the start of the year. So this route hasn't changed at all. It's been my go-to. I've run it with clients, I've run it by myself, I've run it pretty much multiple times a week, every single week. So it's a route that I know incredibly well and can mentally break down. I think the running, in my personal opinion, one, because of the mechanical stress of your kind of feet compounding the floor and your bones hitting the floor, if you will, and that kind of shock going up your legs, it's naturally going to take the most out of you, you know. For the bike, what I learned from the joggle is your bum is everything, and where your bones of your bum, the ischium, kind of rests on that seat, I ended up with 2 little golf balls either side of inflammation, and kind of where the bruising and the swelling of soft tissue was there. And kind of by day 6, the kind of skin on my kind of gooch and my arse cheeks were kind of red raw, and I was kind of like dabbing it with tissue paper and putting chamois cream on before going to kind of breakfast in the morning. And you know, when you kind of get that painful tremor, that little shake in your leg when it is kind of absolutely killing as you're putting chamois cream on, that kind of happened. And kind of as the days went on, it took roughly around 20 minutes for you just to stop hurting as you kind of sat back in that saddle. After 20 minutes, you're kind of numb to it, and your body kind of just got used to it, and it kind of just carried on. But when we stopped for lunch and when we started in the morning, it was, the first 20 minutes were just brutal, you know. Some days were easier than others, depending on the course that we were riding, but I imagine it's going to be the same thing here. So looking after my skin is going to be paramount for that, and it's just going to keeping everything clean, if you will, at the end of the day. Showers, ice bath that I'm going to be using, making sure that our water is really hygienic. and just kind of tip top, so I'm in the best shape that I can possibly be. Same with foot health. This volume of running in such a short space of time, you're talking a marathon a day, that's a lot of volume to kind of be taken on. So looking after blisters, looking after foot health, any sort of kind of skin sores or anything like that is going to be paramount. And it's that sort of stuff that in the evening is going to take its time. What I've allowed for is for the run, if I run kind of roughly, what I've been training for is between 6.5 minute kilometers and 7.5 minute kilometers. At 7 minutes a kilometer, you're talking kind of a 5 hour marathon, give or take. I think it's 5 or 5:15. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you're talking a 5 hour marathon. If I allow for traffic lights, traffic and so on and so forth, you're talking potentially between 7 and 8 hours on the bike with transition, and I've allowed myself for an hour and a half swim, half-hour transition, or I'll tell you what, I'll read it off my phone. What I've allowed for, so this is what I've written in my phone, just by here, okay? Starting the day at 6 o'clock, swim roughly, now generally it takes me an hour and 15. On the weekend it depends on the swell, because sea there can be quite tough, which is why I train there. But I've allowed an hour and a half for the swim. Roughly it takes me 20 minutes to get to the pool and 20 minutes to get home. So I've allowed for an hour to get from the pool to my house and be out on the bike, starting the bike at 8:30 and then ride until 5 o'clock, give or take. If I can get it done quicker, then brilliant. If not, then 5 o'clock. I've allowed half an hour for transition to get off the bike and get into my run gear, and then straight out at 5:30. And if I run a 5 hour marathon, then I'm finishing at 10:30, which means from 10:30 till 6 o'clock, I have 6.5 hours, which naturally I need to clean myself, get my gear ready, get everything on charge, download all this content that I'm going to be uploading, stick it onto a hard drive so I've got fresh camera ready for the following day. I've got to massage myself, I've got to stretch, I've got to sit in the ice bath, I've got to eat my tea, I've got to then jump in my Normatex, my compression boots, then I've got to try and maximize my sleep, then I've got to wake up, have breakfast, have all my micronutrition, get in the car, drive to the pool or to the beach and start my swim at 6 o'clock. So 6.5 hours is going to zoom by. Now, what I'm thinking to maximize time, by all means, I would love as many people to come along to this as possible. My biggest concerns by it are, one, everything needs to be at my pace. So naturally, because I'm the one doing 10, I can't be getting caught up in chasing people. And also, I can't be waiting around all day for everyone. If, for example, someone has a bike mechanical, if someone's just naturally slower than the pace that I can maintain on that day, and so on and so forth. So what I've advised people to do is, by all means, come to the swimming pool and swim as much as you want. You know, if I'm swimming for an hour and 15, then by all means, swim for an hour and 15. If you can swim for an hour, or if you can only swim 45 minutes or half an hour, by all means do that. Come along, be a part of it, because this is about community and it is about coming together and working as a team and being a part of something, because this is what I want to create. You know, this is a huge part of the channel, and it's also a huge part of the kind of the mental health awareness. You know, it is about community, because ultimately the reason why I've struggled with my mental health and my ADHD is because I felt alone most of my life. You know, that is a huge part of it. So if you want to come along, come along. You know, even if you want to come and just support and so on, I will appreciate each and every one of you. And I will put all the GPX files up on the description. So by all means, click them, download them, have a little look at them, and so on, and kind of get to grips to them. And if you want to come along, stick them on your Garmin's and then come along that way. So if, for example, you don't keep up or you want to head on because you've got to get back and I'm the slow one, then by all means you're going to know the route as well. For the run, same with the run. Now it's 4 loops. What I'm going to ask people is, by all means, do 3 loops with me, the first 3. That 4th loop I'm going to ask to do by myself, and the reason why I'm going to ask to do by myself is because when I finish that day, I'm going to be unintentionally rude. What I mean is, when I finish, I'm going to need to go straight in my house and get my stuff done, have my food, get showered, get changed, all the rest of the stuff. And naturally, for those who know me will understand, I'm a talker. You know, I'll never be rude to you in person, and I'll talk your ears off. But what I'll also do is naturally forget the time, and it'll be 2 hours I've been talking to you outside, and then I've still got to do all my stuff, and so on. So in a way of self-preservation, if you will, I'm going to invite you to the first 3. I'm going to soldier on for the last one up by myself, and then I'm just going to come in my house. I don't have to worry about entertaining or speaking or saying thank you. I can say thank you after the 3rd one, and then run the 4th one by myself. On the last day, however, you know, by all means, stick around. You know, I will have all the time in the world after the last day, you know, and I will invite you in. I will sit in the garden with you. I will sit outside. I will talk until the following morning if I can stay awake. Yeah, those first 9 days, literally run with me for free. Now, what I've said for people who are worried about pace and sticking with me or not wanting to get in the way, come along and ride your bike. You know, sit on a hybrid, sit on a mountain bike, pedal along, you know, come along for the journey, come along for the chat, come along and film, stick it on your social media, you know, film and send me the video, you know, whatever you want to do to help, and it will help. It will be amazing to have you there, and get to know you guys, you know, put some faces to the names in the channel and so on. So if you are local to Cardiff or you fancy a day trip, you know, on a weekend or whatever, by all means come along, you know, drop me a message on Instagram and stuff, and we can make arrangements and so on and so forth, you know. But yeah, these are the routes. And by all means, like I said, have a little look on the description for the GPX files. I'll make those public on my Garmin. And yeah, by all means, what I'm going to do is showcase everything throughout the entire 10 days, from the moment I wake up to the moment I kind of go to bed. What I might try and do is every evening when I'm kind of in the ice bath maybe, or kind of whatever, maybe go live for a little bit, you know, maybe if I can do that, and then that way you guys can connect with me every single day and ask me questions about it all and so on. And what I'm going to try and do is film with my GoPro throughout the day, and then also kind of upload kind of short minute to 3-minute shorts on my mobile phone, and kind of upload those as I'm going to kind of let you know what's going on and so on as well. So you kind of have all the long videos at the end of the challenge, but then the short videos, you can access those as and when they're kind of coming along. Throughout the challenge, if you can, my big ask for you guys is share. Please share and get this message out there. I am one guy, and as much as you guys make me feel like an absolute rock star when it comes to my YouTube channel, and when you come and meet me and you say hello in the races that I go to and so on, which is incredible, by the way. Like, you know, honestly, you make me feel amazing, and my kids generally lose their minds because they're like, oh my God, like someone from your YouTube channel knows you and they've come up to you, and like for them and for me it just makes it real. So thank you so much for that, you know. But I feel like I'm just Chris, you know, and I think I will always feel just Chris. I don't know how these celebrity people, you know, get these personas and stuff, but that's generally not who I am, and it's not what I'm interested in. So I'm very aware that I am just one guy from Cardiff doing this challenge, and it's massive for me, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything to anybody else. It might mean something to you because you're following and you're into this type of thing. So you might be impressed. Other people generally do not give a toss, you know, and I totally understand that. And some of them don't understand why, because they never would, and so on. But the biggest thing that I want to do with this is I want to create an impact, and I want to help those who really need it. I certainly wish that I had people to help me when I was struggling, because I felt completely isolated and completely alone. And ultimately, I would love, my ultimate goal is to raise a minimum of £10,000. If I hit over, then absolutely phenomenal. But there are millions and millions of people online, and if we all donated £1, you know, a coffee, the cost of a coffee, you know, because let's be honest, most coffees cost at least £5 nowadays, and we're more than happy to buy someone a coffee without even batting an eyelid. If you could donate just that much and share it and get other people to donate just that much, then we'd have the money by tomorrow, and we would raise an absolute fortune, and then together we could help hundreds and hundreds of people, which ultimately is the goal. So during the challenge, building up to the challenge in these next 8 days, please like the videos, share the videos, comment on the videos, because it's only going to help the algorithm, and it's only going to help this grow and grow, and I ultimately want it to grow for the right reasons. It's not about me, but it's about making a difference, and for me that's really important, because I never felt that I would, and I'm with your help starting to believe that I can. So thank you. I hope you have enjoyed this video, even though it's a lot of me waffling on, but it gives you some insight of the new course and kind of what I'm going to be doing over these 10 days. And if you're interested, check it out. If you're interested, come along, and if you're interested, please support. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It is growing, and it is amazing. Thanks to a lot of your kindness, we've now hit 5.8% of my £10,000 goal. We've raised £580. There's a ton of you guys that have donated, so thank you so much. Some of you I met in Swansea, so thank you, and it was amazing meeting you. And yeah, today, for those who are interested, I was finally able to sign up for the YouTube partnership program because of the recent subscribers, because of the recent amount of views and hours of watch time that I've received. So I've just started that process of starting the partnership program, and I'm waiting to get reviewed and so on and so forth. So it is all heading in the right direction, thanks to this amazing, incredible community, thanks to you. So I am incredibly grateful. I feel incredibly honoured to be able to do all of these things, and yeah, I just appreciate you millions. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, honestly. I hope I continue to inspire. I hope I continue to just show you my honest journey and just show you what's possible, you know. Have an incredible day, and I hope to see you again soon, okay? Take care.